Om Shri Sai Ram. I offer my most prayerful and grateful pranams at the feet of my beloved Sadguru and God and Master, Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Today, after so many years of being in His divine presence and under the umbrella of Baba's love, I say with all my heart and mind and spirit and soul that I bow to the lotus feet of Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, my Sadguru, my Sai, my God and my love. But this was not the case when I went to be in his college. This did not happen all of a sudden. This faith and this love in Baba, this conviction with which I stand here today in front of you, this inspiration that takes me around the globe talking about his love, sharing his divinity, all this was not a matter of a day or two, but it was a slow, gradual transformation of experiencing the divine, of yearning to understand more, and how He allowed us to understand what an incarnation is, what a power of a Sadguru truly is. Baba has said many times, and many of you probably would have heard or read it, just come, examine me, question me, experience in me, and then accept me as your Guru. Yesterday I shared at a lovely Sai Center how I came into Swami's fold. And I hope in the next 7 or 8 days that I'm here to share a little bit of those stories, a little at a time, so we can savor not just the stories but the magnificent lessons that each of us took home. When I first went into Swami's college, I was not a devotee. My parents were not devotees. They had to find some hostel for me, so they found one place. I found this place and I convinced my father and mother that I want to go there. They agreed, and one thing led to the other. I shared that story yesterday, and finally I got into the institute, and we started going to classes and we started going for darshans. And I noticed that our day would begin in the evening, when the sun would rise in the morning, but we were not interested. Everybody was interested in the evening because they would go for Baba's darshan. Because morning you get up and you're getting ready for college, and you go to college, you come back, and therefore when the afternoon comes, everybody gets excited and goes for darshan. And so that 2 or 3 hours or 4 hours that we would spend in the veranda, those days there weren't many, as brother Vijay just said, weren't many students, weren't many devotees. So Swami would come out and just ask, what shall we do today? And we would say, okay, come into my room, and he would spend time talking to us. Sometimes if you would go early for Baba's darshan, he would say, y'all just didn't have tiffin. Y'all came without having tiffin from college, you must be hungry. So he would take us inside his room and himself feed us mixture and sweet and savory, and make sure we are all full. Who can refuse when you get from Baba's hands? I enjoyed all of that. I enjoyed all the attention that he was giving us. I grew to appreciate the simplicity with which Baba was making himself available to us. But in my heart, I couldn't comprehend his divinity yet. I was young, I was 17 or 18. I was just trying to understand this idea of what does this mean by being a Sadguru? What does this mean by everybody says he's an avatar? What does it mean? What does he say when he says, I know? What does that I know really mean? I couldn't comprehend it. As a youngster, I wanted to understand. And therefore, I began to yearn for faith. And I use the word yearning because I think it's very crucial and very different from asking. It's very different from saying, oh, if you're God, try and prove it. Let me see. It was not out of defiance. Because if we approach subject matters with defiance, then nothing happens. If there is a true yearning, especially in the area of spirituality and divinity, if there is true yearning, God answers. And therefore my yearning was, Baba, prove to me little things. I have not understood this concept of Purna Avatar, incarnation and all that. That is too much for me to comprehend. But just convince me, that you can read my thoughts, that you know that what is going on in my mind. I'm sitting here with 50 boys. And when you come out, there are 5,000 devotees around. So with so many people, how do you know what is going on in each one's mind? How can I even understand your divinity if I cannot place my faith in these little things? So I was yearning for little building blocks of faith. Little things. A child craves for stories from his father. If you tell him chant Veda chanting, he is going to sleep. Because he loves the lullaby of the sa re sa ne sa re sa ne sa re ne sa ne sa re sa. Oh, nice mommy, and he'll go to sleep. What he wants a story. Swami would tell us little stories. And so as a young boy, in the threshold of this divine presence, I was yearning for little blocks of faith, little things that make sense to me, that I, in my own heart, in the depths of my own heart, will begin accepting him. The reason I'm sharing this is with Baba, he has said very clearly, you and I, and nobody else in between. What does that mean? That we, each one of us present here, it does not matter whether we went to India, we saw him, it does not matter whether we got an interview with Baba, it does not matter whether we touched his feet, really it does not matter at all. All he says is, open your heart and have a direct connection with me. Ask what you want with me, talk to me, share your burdens with me, and I will answer you. And when we yearn for that relation, God answers. I say that with deep conviction because he did. I did not know mantra chanting. I did not know bhajan singing. I knew nothing. I was a young teenager from Bombay who almost went and joined the Pune Film Institute. I am there and I'm hearing about God. I'm excited. I wanted to understand. I want to share the first segment before I offer a small song offering. Little things that Baba helped me understand. And in that I saw the omniscience that Brother Vijay spoke about, the omnipresence that he spoke about, the omnipotence that Brother Vijay spoke about, the qualities that we are trying to gauge an infinite power that resides very close to each one of us. Even as we speak today, he is there with you, in you, around you. I distinctly remember that we would sit in front of Swami during the bhajans, and those days the boys had still not started singing. So there was a gentleman on the gents side, and there was a lady on the women's side. They both would sing one after the other, and the bhajan session would go on for 20 or 25 minutes. And there was this lady who would sing a long bhajan, very slow and dragging bhajan. So Swami always likes fast namasmarana. He says, everybody just chant the name of God. You know, his approach to bhajan is, don't come there and say, Mujhe kripa karo, main bhikhari hu, tumhare dwar. And Baba says, okay, that is all about you. Where is God fitting in the story? So just sing Ram, Lakshman, and sing the name of God. The name of God is so powerful that it can break all barriers of everything. Everything is given to you with the power of namasmarana. So this lady would start the bhajan and she would go so slow. Even Swami will make a face and do like this. Oh. But in his infinite love for this devotee, he would listen to the whole song. But and she would sing it religiously, every 2 days she would repeat that bhajan. Now, Baba would sit for 20 minutes or 25 minutes. Now this lady, she starts singing this bhajan, it would take a whole 5 to 6 minute length. One bhajan, and that too slowly she would go. Because Baba would often tell us later on, I mean once we started singing, Baba would say, you are looking at Baba, but I am sitting on the chair and looking at devotees' faces. So when you sing a slow bhajan and everybody is just doing like this, I can't see my devotee's face. I want everybody to be singing, so please sing namasmarana. Sing nice fast bhajans. So I can sit on the chair and see everybody sing. But he allowed this lady. Now as a cheeky young lad, I was sitting and one evening, I distinctly remember, this lady started singing this bhajan and Swami made this face. So as it started, Swami would stop it off halfway because she went on and on. So after 5 or 6 months, I think Swami realized nobody is following the bhajan. So after about 3 or 4 minutes, he would look at her and give a sweet smile and stop putting the talam, and that was indication, please, it's okay, nice bhajan, but let's move on. That day when this lady started, I was sitting and Swami made the same usual face and Swami was like, oh my gosh, one more bhajan, long bhajan, she's going to sing same old. And I said, Swami, I know you're going to stop this bhajan because you have done this in the last 2 weeks. You've stopped it every time she started. But for me today, if you can really read what is going on in my heart, show me a sign. And what is that sign? I said, you have to take this bhajan for 3 speeds. Because normally if Swami had done it for 2 speeds, every bhajan is sung for 2 speeds. So though he had stopped it halfway, if he does for 2 speeds, my monkey mind might say, oh, that was anyway going to happen. How could this be Baba's? I know Baba would have never taken that bhajan for 3 speeds, because that would mean a whole 8 or 9 or 10 minutes. Half of the bhajan would go in the bhajan time. That day, believe it or not, Baba took the bhajan for 3 speeds. And then he gave, because I was sitting right under his feet, he looked at me and made such a face as if I'm doing this just for you. And he turned his face away. It was these little things. There was once Baba was going for darshan, and once Baba comes into his devotees, and I know many of you have been there and observed Baba would probably relate to this. When he looks at the devotees and he walks into the devotees, he just becomes one with them. There is no separation at all. For us at that point, it would be so humbling for us to see, oh my gosh, our Baba is gone. He's gone to his devotees. Nothing to stop. He'll be in his own world and be so happy. The face will light up. And that joy that comes from Baba will be incredible. And so one day as he was giving this beautiful darshan, I was sitting in the veranda on the edge of the boys' line. And I saw him completely lost. He was picking letters, talking to somebody and moving gracefully and beautifully, giving darshan. And I'm thinking, if this is a truly omniscient Guru, then he should know what is going on in our mind. He said, Baba, show me a sign. Now. I know he's so lost to the devotees. I said, show me a sign now. And the moment I thought, he turned and he not showed me a sign, he looked at me and said, come. He did like this. My knees froze, my legs. I didn't know what to do, but he said like this, so I ran to him. Here is how God responds. He always does it very subtly. He doesn't say, you are thinking and this is what, at least with me he did. He called me, I went up to him, and he had a handful of envelopes and the letters that he had picked up from devotees. So he just said, hold it, and he went on to darshan. And I just stood there stunned. I asked for a sign, he gave me a sign. So I came back, I thought, oh no, Baba is giving me this sign, maybe he'll call me in for an interview. So I stood right in front of his door with all the letters. He didn't even look at me that evening. Many years later, Baba made this wonderful comment. He told me and my friend who was sitting at his feet, he said, you ask for experiences, Baba gives you experience. Then it is up to you to build your faith. You ask for one more, Baba will give one more. You have to build your faith. You have to build your faith. That is how you evolve. You have lived many lifetimes, Baba continued. You lived many lifetimes to come to where you are. Now you are awakened to a point where you can actually conceive the idea of divinity. There are people who don't even understand what divinity is. They live their life like just eating, sleeping, and that's it. For them there is nothing else. Socializing, whatever it is. We are not judging, but that is the state of... We have spent many lifetimes and today we are sitting here in a satsang thinking about divinity. How many lifetimes is this that we are sitting in a satsang where a dear brother from Islam faith celebrating his birthday in a Hindu temple? Where in the world can this happen? Other than under the umbrella of Sai love. Where in the world can it happen that in a Hindu temple you have bhajans singing Sai Allah, Allah Sai, Maula Sai. So, having spent so many lifetimes and having come to this place, we are, whether we like it or not, whether we believe it or not, at this moment we are sitting at the feet of a divine power. Baba said, having come here, you're asking for experience, you're praying for experience. I give you the experience. Then take it, build your faith, make it so strong, and come closer to me, one step at a time. And so these little things that Baba showed me was amazing. Once, many months later, a year later probably, I was in Baba's room, and he was so engrossed in his everyday work, and I'll share this as we go along, that people would come downstairs and we'll have to go and tell Swami upstairs, Baba so and so has come to see you, Pujari has come to see you. Baba would say, okay, send him upstairs. Or Baba will say, wait, tell him to wait. Yeah. The doctor might come. Dr. Alreja was the main doctor of the small hospital then. So he would come to seek Swami's guidance or to report something to Swami. So he would come downstairs and tell us, can you please tell Baba that I have come? We'd say, okay. And we would go upstairs, tell Baba so and so has come. Baba would say, yes, wait, or tell him to come up. So one day Baba was in a playful mood. And I went and I was about to tell Baba the Pujari has come. Baba said, the Pujari has come. I know, I know. So I said, okay, maybe the Pujari had told Baba he'll come at this time. I didn't even think this. So I went down and told the Pujari, Baba is calling you. So he went up. After a while, another person came. I just went, I had to just show my face to Swami. Swami would say, oh, so and so has come. I know, I know, I know. Send him upstairs. So it became a game that entire evening. Everybody would come. There was one, I remember that evening, a state president of Maharashtra came and he said, I've come on a very urgent visit. Baba doesn't know I'm here. Can you please tell him I'm here? Do I have to wait for darshan or do I have to come up and see Baba? So this time when I was going up the stairs, I said, let me see now. He himself didn't know he was going to come. So when I go up, Baba said, Pakoda has come. I know. I mean, that person was very well rounded, very well built. So Baba said, oh, Pakoda has come, so I mentioned his name, he said, tell him to come upstairs. And I felt, oh my God, why would Baba even need anybody here? So it was a divine opportunity he gave us to serve. So when you come out for the darshan, he asks you, what is your name? Where are you from? How many people from Trinidad? And this is just an opportunity for him to talk to us. Otherwise, he would have might as well been in this infinite, cosmic, formless entity. Why would he take a form? Baba said, I took a form so you can relate to me. If I came down with 4 hands and 3 heads like you have in your pictures in your puja room, then you would have put me in a museum. Half of you would have been scared. This is something crazy, we don't want to go near. The other half would have taken pictures and put in the museum. Which is why I came as a human being. Which is why Baba said every avatar is so precious because they come for that time in the yuga, for that generation. They come and mingle and become one with them. In the times of kings and princesses and kingdoms, Rama and Krishna came. In the times of slavery and enslavement, Jesus came and shared love. In the time of Kali Yuga, where we just need down-to-earth proof, he comes with just 2 hands and 2 feet, just like us. And he says, if I can do, as a village urchin, with no degrees, no qualification, no language of English, born in a place which is not even on the India's map, wasn't at the time. If I can do what I did, why can't you do even a fraction of it? And we would say, Baba, how can you say that? You are God. He said, I am God, yes, but you are God too. Why don't you believe in that? Only then can you become instruments in my divine hands. Until we believe that we are divine, then we become a spark of this divine ray. The sunlight. We are all the rays of the same sun. So there is no chance for being arrogant. Saying I am God doesn't bring arrogance. It brings more humility. The amount of humility Baba had is amazing, and I'll share some of that. But I want to offer this little garland of 2 or 3 songs now to Baba. And this is just the beauty of how the name of Ram has always enriched our lives for generations. How can one name, how can one story, how can one name survive the test of time? Not 1,000 years, 2,000 years, but 5, 6, God even knows how long the name of Ram has been. And even today, the name brings tears to eyes. Ram, Sai Ram, Sham, Radhe Sham, Sai Sham. These are so powerful that people name their children, their grandchildren, their wives, their husbands, names of God, so that name keeps getting more and more and stays alive. Baba would often tell us that Namasmarana is the most powerful way to worship God. He gave us very simply 2 simple lessons. He said, chant my name, go out and serve the world. Namasmarana and service to God is all that he talked about in this mission. that was the two pillars of Sai's teaching, the way I understand it. Because by doing Namasmarana, we become one with the qualities of the divine. Once we were all sitting around Baba, and there was Professor B.K. Narasimhan. He was then the editor of the Hindu. The Hindu is one of the leading national Hindu, the Indian newspapers today, even today. So before Professor Anil Kumar came into the picture, he was the one who was translating Swami's discourses, and he would have that courage to ask Swami questions. And so he asked Swami, Swami, you're saying Namasmarana, Namasmarana, it's all right, I can understand that. But why do you have 108 names and 1008 names? Because you're saying one name is enough. Then why is there 108 names? Why do we chant 1008 names? So I don't understand, Baba. Why can't it be just one name? And Baba playfully replied. And these kind of replies are spontaneous. Okay, it doesn't even take a second for Baba to come out with the answer. He said, if I give you a small air rifle and put little balloons on the wall ahead, little balloons, and ask you shoot those balloons. To burst one balloon, shoot one balloon, I would say. To burst that one balloon, how many bullets you need? I said, Baba, one is enough. If one hits one balloon, it will just burst. Baba says, try. Here are 108 bullets. Keep trying, one of them will hit. Here are 1008 bullets. Keep trying, one of them will hit. So he said, you chant 108 names, you chant 1008 names because one of them will touch your heart. One of them. That one is enough. That one is enough. That is why Baba says, all names are mine, all forms are mine. Not in some mystical sense, but he was all that. He lived with that divine consciousness that every single name reaches him. Every single form. So you worship Allah, He is there. You worship Jesus, He is there. You worship Krishna, He is there. You worship Rama, He is there. You worship Sai, He is there. You call on any name of your choice, any form of your choice, He is there. Once I asked Swami, Swami, when do I chant your name? And almost immediately Swami came, anytime. In Telugu, of course, it's Eppadana check. I was like, oh, but could I ask him to make a mistake? Eppadana check, wherever and anytime. Bathroom lokani, kitchen lokani, in the kitchen or in the bathroom or wherever you want, chant God's name. So here is a Sadguru who's not telling you have a shower early in the morning, get up at 3 o'clock, and sit facing east, facing northeast, sit for 2 hours and chant my name so many times. Nothing. You're having a shower, you feel like singing a bhajan, sing. You're cooking and you want to chant Swami's name, chant. How easy is that? How simple is that? And he says, I will be with you. And amazingly, my dear sisters and brothers, throughout these years, and I'm sure all of us can relate, those of us who have been associated in this divine path of Sai love and Sai spirituality, that as we chant His name, His qualities become part of you. You experience His divinity as an extension of who you are. You become an extension of who He is. He becomes an extension of who you are. Your words, your thoughts, your life, your entire life becomes a pilgrimage. And your every day becomes a day of worship. Everything that you do becomes a sense of duty, and that duty becomes divine. I would like to offer this small garland of songs. Before I begin this, the disclaimer is we really had very little time to set up, so please bear with me. I know Swami likes perfection, and I hope Swami forgives if there is some error here and there. So, this is just a collection of songs on Sri Ram and Sai Ram, and collection of 4 songs that I would like to offer at Bhagavan's lotus feet. I hope you all can see from the back when the lights are on. Sri Ram, Sai Ram. Sri कंदर्प अगणित अनित छवि नवनील नीरज सुंदरम पदपीत मानव दरित रुचि सुचि नौमि जनक सुधावरम श्री रामचंद्र कृपालु भजमन हरण भव भय दारुणम श्री राम साई राम। जय राम जय राम जय राम रमणं शमनं भव तापभयाकुल पाहि जनं जय राम रमणं शमनं भव तापभयाकुल पाहि जनं मणिमण्डल मण्डन चारुतरं धृत सायक चाप निषङ्गपदं श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम। मानस पंकज तुंग भजे रघुवीर महारण वीर भजे मानस पंकज तुंग भजे रघुवीर महारण वीर भजे तब नाम जपामि नमामि हरि भव रोग महागण मान हरे श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम। वैष्णव जन तो तेरे कहिए जे पीड़ पराई जाने रे पर दुखे उपकार करे तोए मन अभिमान नाने रे। वैष्णव जन तो तेरे कहिए जे पीड़ पराई जाने रे वैष्णव जन तो तेरे कहिए सकल लोक मां सौंदे वंदे निंदा ना करे केड़ी रे सकल लोक मां सौंदे वंदे निंदा ना करे केड़ी रे कांच कांच मन निश्चल राखे धन धन जननी केड़ी रे वैष्णव जन तो तेरे कहिए God is our only true friend. दुख में न कोई सुख के सब साथी दुख में न कोई मेरे राम साईं राम तेरा नाम एक साचा तू जाना कोई सुख के सब साथी दुख में न कोई। ना कुछ तेरा ना कुछ मेरा ना कुछ तेरा ना कुछ मेरा ये जग जोगी वाला फेरा राजा हो या रंग सभी का राजा हो या रंग सभी का अंत एक सा होए सुख के सब साथी दुख में न कोई मेरे राम साईं राम साईं राम 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 साईं राम 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 साईं राम राम। When Baba gave me the first interview, he asked me, "Kya mangta hai?" First time he spoke to me, it was in Hindi, the Matrubhasha. "Kya mangta hai?" And I said, "Baba, kuch nahi." "Nahi bolo, kya mangta hai?" And I was very nervous. I was first time seeing Baba and he's so close to me and he's alone with me in the room. "Kya mangta hai?" "Swami, kuch nahi mangta." First thing he would say, "Oh, I don't want anything." Say, "No, bolo kya mangta hai? What do you want?" Now honestly, I never really wanted anything for myself. But because I had joined Baba's college and I was now in Baba's fold, my parents who had until I joined Baba's college, they were nobody in my orthodox Tamil, Brahmin, traditional as Shiva worshippers and Lord Muruga worshippers. They didn't want Sai Baba and any Babas in the picture. But once I joined now, they were getting interested. The only reason for my mother's interest and my father's interest was this. And this is by no means bad. See, in the Gita, it is said, "Artha artharthi jignasu jnani." Krishna says, "They are all my devotees. All are my devotees." So jnani should not look at the arth. I can explain in a minute what it means. Artha artharthi jignasu and jnani. So the jnani, the self-enlightened man, or the jnani, should not look at it and say, "I am devotee, you are not devotee." What does that mean? Krishna says that some people might want wealth and prosperity in their life and they pray to me. They are also my devotees. They are praying for wealth and prosperity, fine, but they are my devotees. Somebody is sick and ill and they want healing. They are praying for that. They are also my devotees. Artha artharthi jignasu. Somebody is seeking spiritual wisdom, spiritual knowledge. He has spiritual doubts. He is also my devotee. And the jnani, the self-enlightened, he is also my devotee. So all are devotees. And it is in that context that I am sharing the story. So my mother started writing to me. ever since I joined Swami's college, and I would write to them saying, today Baba came, and he's so simple, you must come and see Puttaparthi, and he's so different, and all that. And so my mother started writing to me. What was her problem? The problem for her and in the family was, my sister was married for 11 years, and she wanted a child. Now it is different if you're married and you don't want a child, that's different. But even you want a child, and when you don't get one, then you start craving for it, you start pining for a child. And so she was married into a very traditional family, and therefore she felt that she was being looked down upon because she was not able to conceive, or whatever that was. And so there was the whole family was very worried, and they had taken, even those days, I think this was in the 1980 when this happened, and 11 years ago means 1970s. So in the 70s, whatever medical facilities were available at that time, they tried everything. They tried with every astrologer, every Siddha Purusha who suddenly could materialize something, threw it on my sister and said, you will have a child. Nothing worked for them. So they were at the wit's end. What do I do? Where do we go? And so now this new ray of hope, this light came into their lives through their son. And so my mother started writing to me, saying, please ask Baba about Bhuvana. Bhuvana was my sister's name. Please ask Baba about Bhuvana. Please ask him. Please ask him to bless her. And I would read that and say, I'll be the last person to get up in the veranda and say, Swami, my sister wants a child. I mean, for me, I am trying to understand Baba myself. And for me, it was the most embarrassing thing. So I used to all quietly, respectfully, I'd say, yes, but I made up my mind, I'm never going to do that. So in this interview room, this is how, when I look back, this is how Baba puts these things in place. He wants you to take that one step. Baba says, you take one step, I will take 1,000 steps. And this is a direct proof. I learned all this directly from Baba, and that's why I share all my first-hand experiences with you. It can't get more authentic than this. So, he wanted that door to open so he could bring my family in and bless them. Because they were very, 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 very religious, very, very devoted, very spiritual people. And they needed that blessing. Like Baba says, wherever you are, whatever you are doing, if you are devoted in your path, you will come to me eventually, you will. That's it, period. So, I didn't know this, we are just instruments, we don't know anything. So, kya mangta hai, bolo, Swami Krishna. Nahi, bolo kya mangta hai, bolo kya mangta hai. Then, that thought flashed my mind, maybe I can now, Swami is asking me, I have to say something. So, I'll tell about my sister. And all I said to Baba, that was my first direct experience of his omniscience. So you can imagine this young boy just standing there. First of all, kya mangta hai, I don't know. And then I said, Baba, my sister. That's all I said, my sister. Your sister, your mother. Ayyo, Murga. And then he just went so far. 11 years, no child, everybody crying in the house. Puja, doctor, nothing, kuch kaam nahi karta hai, malum. Swami Prasad bechta hai. I'll translate it really quickly in English. But just bear with me. Swami Prasad deta hai, 8 mahina mein ladka hoga. So he said, as Baba will give you Prasad, in 8 months she will get a boy. And I was taken aback. This was too much to handle. You ask for a birthday cake and you get a feast like this. See? It was too much to handle for me. What did he say? 8 months? I thought it was 9 months. What is 8 months? I don't know. And secondly, what is boy? What if it's a girl? For me, my faith was so feeble at that time that every word that he said mattered to me. I was not ready to accept a philosophical meaning of when he said boy and girl. I wanted boy means boy. Make it clear to me. Don't play with me. And I am not at that stage yet. So I was like a baby trying to take baby steps. I wanted faith, and I said, oh my God. So, and of course the next question, he said, Tumko kya mangta hai? And I'll come to that, if not today, maybe in the course of the next few satsang. Tumko kya mangta hai? I said, Baba. Then I knew I had to ask something. He said, oh yeah, you asked about your sister, and I'll come to that sister story in a bit. Tumko kya mangta hai? I said, Baba, I want to be in your room. Because I always thought, Baba comes, he sits on the chair, he goes into the Mercedes Benz, and he's like a king. He drops a handkerchief and 10 people dive to pick it up. He doesn't even bend down. I was like, how does he live upstairs then? How do kings live? I mean, he's like, my God, he's royalty. And so I wanted to see. So when people would come out of Baba's room, I'll ask him, what was Baba doing? Was he reading? What What does he take? They'll say, no, we can't tell all that. So that intrigued me more. I have to know exactly what's going on in that room. Does he have a TV in his room? Does he read books? Does he read newspapers? What does he do? What does Baba do there? And so when Baba asked me, Tumko kya mangta hai? I said, Baba, I want to be in your room. He said, Acha, come from tomorrow. It happened so simple. Because as if Baba was waiting to answer that, because he knew that this monkey mind needs that. And he just wanted that one step. And he took 1,000 steps and opened the doors of his private chambers to this ignorant fool. I am so grateful when I think of that. That is why I don't hesitate sharing those moments with Swami, because those were the moments when I saw him, I actually built my faith in who he was. Not the vibhuti appearing, that kind of scared me, but watching him being so simple and yet so divine, being so intense in his mission, I learned what it is to be at the feet of a guru. And I'll share those stories later, but I'll come to my sister's story. I don't want to leave it incomplete. I come out of the interview room, from the inside interview room outside, very excited, very confused, I didn't know what to do. One thing is, I'm going to be in Swami's room tomorrow. What does that mean? Whom do I have to go to ask? Should I just walk in? That was one side of the picture. The other one was, what does he say about my sister? What is this 8 months? What is this prasad deta hai, 8 mahina? It was like telegram, it was. The words were, 8 mahina, ladka hoga, prasad deta. It was like 4-5 words here and there. I was like, what does it even mean to me? So I'm sitting outside in the interview room, and Baba is talking to other families, and he's winding up the interview with the devotees. And I was thinking, Baba is going to give prasad for my sister. So it obviously must be one of those materializations. So that would have been my first materialization, Swami giving me something. So I was like, oh, I'm excited. Swami is going to actually materialize vibhuti for me. But I had made up my mind, this is a complicated issue. I mean, 11 years, no kids. They have tried all. And so Baba says, I give prasad, means obviously it has to be materialization, right? We think big problems, big solutions, whatever. In our imagination is so much. So Baba comes, he's finishing the interview. He has a small basket which is kept on the window. He picks it up, and then there are a lot of vibhuti packets inside. So he takes from the vibhuti packet and hands over to everybody. Everybody he gratefully gives everyone. So he's giving everyone, and everybody is getting up to go out. And I'm thinking, Baba, you said prasad, and you're giving this vibhuti. So he filled both my hands with vibhuti, and I asked Baba, Baba, my sister's prasad for my sister. Baba said, Diya abhi, isko bhejo. And when I looked down at that vibhuti packet, I looked down at others' hand. I said, this is not going to work. It is from that same basket. Does everybody have child problems? I don't think so. So this, I was 100%, I have to be honest in Baba's presence, I was 100% sure this will not work. My heart sank. It's like just about forming faith. Swami told, what is this? Is it a test or what is it? It is from that basket. There's no magic, nothing. I mean, this is a real problem for my sister. And you're just picking up from the basket, which I would have also taken from the basket. But little did I realize, in many years of course, we have got to understand that it is amazing when a person has complete, I mean, he is the one who's the source of all the 5 elements. When he gives you a prasad from one basket, it is for you. When we give somebody else, it becomes amrit for one, it becomes medicine for one, it becomes prasad for the other. It is amazing how Baba would do this and how this will mean different things to different people. I learned this a few months later, because I'll come back to the story. A few months later, because I would sit in the evenings and Dr. Alreja would come. Dr. Alreja was the doctor of a small general hospital which Swami had before he set up this huge one in 1991. Satsangh General Hospital. So Dr. Alreja was also from Bombay, so we hit it off. I mean, I could speak to somebody in Hindi, in the Bombay Hindi. So anyway, Dr. Alreja was a wonderful, wonderful doctor. He would come every night to Baba and sit at Baba's feet, and Baba would ask him, who came to the hospital? Which patient came? What was that problem? And he would listen patiently. So the doctor's job is to tell, and so he would sit and relate everything. Baba would listen. Then Baba would, there would be always a basket of vibhuti, basket with small packets of vibhuti. Whether Baba is in his private room, wherever he is, Baba would always have that to readily give to somebody. So he would always have that. So he would pick 2 packets of vibhuti and he would give Dr. Alreja after he listens about one patient. Okay, he would pick 2 and say, give it to him. So Dr. Alreja will take it and put it in his shirt pocket. Who's next? Who else came? So Dr. Always, oh, this another child came, Baba, and tells that story about the child. Okay. Then he'll pick up 2 packets and says, give this to that child. He will take that and put it in his pant pocket. So like this, all his pockets by the end of the day, every night will be full. 1, 2 buckets here, 3 packets here, 4 here, 4 at the back, and some in the hand, depending on how many reports he gives. So one day I just couldn't stop, but I had to ask him. So he came down and he was on his way out. So I said, Dr. Saab, just 1 minute, I can't understand one thing. Can I ask you something? He said, sure. Yeah. And I said, Baba, you're telling all these patients history or whatever happened during the day, and Baba gives you prasad. Now why are you keeping 2 here and 3 here and 4 here and 5? I mean, it's all from the same basket. Why don't you just, I can give you a bag, because I find him struggling, you know. Then he comes down, he writes notes and puts it along with that note. This is for this patient, this is for, so I told him it's all the same, right? Why are you making these 2 packets for that person? He said, you are very new, my son. When Baba gives 2 packets for somebody, that 2 packets has to reach that somebody. He gives 3 packets for somebody else. Those 3 packets, I cannot even dare, I dare not even mix it. Because he told me that at times Baba asked, did you give that prasad? How many packets did you give? So he said, I have made this mistake before. And Baba said, when I gave you 3, why did you give him 2? He was meant to have 3. So only Baba could understand at what level he was functioning from. We could never grasp that. And even today, I have never even grasped an iota of the divinity that Baba represents. That is why yesterday I said, I'm only a blind man sharing my little experience, my limited, ignorant perspective of this divine Sadguru who has come to bless us. Distance didn't mean anything to him. It meant something to us. Oh, he's close to Swami, he's sitting in the front line, I'm sitting in the 10th line, he's a VIP, he's a non-VIP. This is all the drama we create. For him, who's conquered space and time, he has no distance. So, coming back to my sister's story. I took that package of vibhuti, went back, almost convinced that this is not going to work, and yet I had to do my job. So I wrote a detailed letter to my sister, put all the vibhuti in the envelope, and sent a registered mail to Delhi, where my sister was staying. The amazing sequence of events that is choreographed by the divine can only be done by the divine. Can only be done by the divine. The registered post takes 3 or 4 days to reach my sister. So 3 or 4 days later, she doesn't know all that because there was no cell phone those days, right? And you just wait for the letter to reach. One morning, my sister gets up, she says, that morning when the letter was supposed to come, that morning she just woke up early in the morning and she was having this thought, saying that I've tried everything and nothing is working. And now my brother keeps saying that he is with a great guru. Why can't his guru also even listen to me? If there is some divinity on earth, why can't somebody listen to me? And when she was praying, she heard Baba's Langar Sangeet. And so she said, oh, this is the same Sai Baba's Langar Sangeet. I mean, can he even hear what I'm thinking? Who can hear me? And this goes on at 5:30 in the morning. 8:30, 9 o'clock, she gets in the post packets of vibhuti from Swami. So this was choreographed. This was planned, orchestrated by Baba 4 days earlier. That it should reach her at the point when he's pushed her to the edge. And she opens a direct line of communication with Baba. She told me later on, so that was the first time I thought of Baba openly and I asked him, why can't you listen to me? I said, but this happened 4 days ago already. He had already listened to you. But he orchestrated in such a way that your prayer and his grace meets. And therefore, the miracle happens. So God knows. That is why yesterday also I said, he knows our problems even before they happen. Even before you and I know it. But there is a purpose for it. So accept it as his prasad. Don't resist some things and take some things. Being a true devotee is accepting everything as his prasad. Baba would explain this beautifully to us. He said, you know what is the meaning of Mirabai drinking poison and turning into nectar? You know what is the inner meaning? We said, we don't know. We just thought it was a nice magic trick that Krishna played. Baba said, because she learned to take all the insults that was hurled at her before as prasad. Her husband threw her out. She said, "This is Krishna's prasad." Her relatives thought she was mad. "This is Krishna's prasad." They threw her on the streets. She said, "Mad princess is running on the street." Everybody thought she was mad. They hurled insults at her. She was considered as a good for nothing. She took all that as a prasad. And because she took everything, all these insults as a prasad, when the real poison came, she took that also as a prasad. For her, everything was prasad, and therefore the poison turned into nectar. Unless we learn to accept the little things in life as His divine prasad, when the big thing comes, it will become a habit. "Yes, Baba, what is this new thing? Okay, let it come. I trust you. I have faith in you. I know the Sadguru." And that's why I said yesterday, and I say this again. He said, "Once I hold your hand, once I hold your head," and I was sitting next to him and he held my hair, but now, I'm giving him a tough time. He's going to have a try. He might hold my neck and he's welcome to do that. He said, "Chuttu patkuntana, I will hold your hair, because you hold my hand, you will let go. But once I hold you, I will never let go. It might be painful. You might try to let go of me. You might say, let me go, Baba, I don't want any of this, but I will not let you go. Once you come into my fold, you are my property. You are my property. I will take care of you. And I will take you to the heights of divinity. And everything else will fall into place." That is why if we offer everything that was given to us, our eyes, our words that we speak, everything we dedicate to a divine mission, to Sai mission, then He takes over. All he needs is acceptance. Let us lay this swelled head of ours, this conditioned mind, if you will, that we go to Baba with a full mind. We have a laundry list of things to ask. We have a full mind of this is belief, this is what I believe in, this is what I don't believe in, this is what I like, I don't like this is black, this is white. We go with all this the mind filled with the trash that we have picked up through our senses, and then we go to somebody who transcends the senses, and we sit with him, and he says, "Let go, surrender." And we say, no, I want to hold on to it. I want to hold on to my belief. And therefore we are not able to surrender to Bhagavan. And that is why we say this ego comes in the way. The ego is Abhiman. If we are able to offer that to Bhagavan, then we become His devotee. We become truly His property. Let me offer a collection of some more small songs at Bhagavan's lotus feet. Which just talks about, let us offer this Abhiman. Don't be egoistic. Just offer it to Bhagavan.
Life dedicated for a higher purpose is a life truly sanctified. All our senses and all our talents are only gifted to us, so we may use them for this ultimate purpose.
है आँख वो जो शाम का दर्शन किया करे, है आँख वो जो साईं का दर्शन किया करे, है शीश जो प्रभु चरण में वंदन किया करे। बेकार वो मुख है जो रहे व्यर्थ बातों में, बेकार वो मुख है जो रहे व्यर्थ बातों में। मुख वो है जो साईं नाम का सुमिरन किया करे। जो भगवान का पूजन किया करे, मरकत कर भी अमर नाम उस जीव का जग में, प्रभु प्रेम में बलिदान जो जीवन किया करे। मत कर तू अभिमान रे बंदे, झूठी तेरी शान रे। मत कर तू अभिमान, मत कर तू अभिमान रे बंदे, झूठी तेरी शान रे। मत कर तू अभिमान। Ji Maine, it was Mirabai, it was Tulsidas, all of them yearned for God. And finally all of them sang the very same thing, the core of Swami's message. Alas, I found God. Where? Within me. I have found God within me. I have found God within me. That was the greatest lesson that I took home. The only thing that comes in the way is this ego of ours, is this conditioned mind that comes and prevents that from happening. I want to share this concept of fear, because many of us, at least I used to think, why would I be afraid? I'm asking of God, why can't He just answer my prayers? And let me share this a little story. We were sitting around Swami's feet and Baba was preparing us, and he had picked up what 8 or 10 boys to speak during the Dasara festival. The Navaratri of the Dasara festival is a festival of 9-10 days, and Baba would perform the yagna, and every evening Baba would ask 1 or 2 of the students to speak, then Baba would give his divine discourse. And so he would pick these boys beforehand, and then he would, again, another excuse to spend time with us. And then I was fortunate enough to be one of them. And he would ask, well, what are you going to speak? What day are you going to speak? And all that. And so one occasion, I distinctly remember, he was sitting with us and asking or sharing some of his thoughts. There was a woman devotee. And Swami said, oh, boys want stories and experiences. You tell your experience. And that devotee said, Baba, I have so many. Which one should you tell? And Baba is now like a 5-year-old. Oh, tell them when I appeared before you. And I came to your house. Not physical body, that body. And so we were excited because Swami rarely gets into this frame with us. And so this lady shared a story saying how she felt jealous because in a neighbor's house, Vibhuti was coming and Prasad was being eaten by Swami, and they had a lot of leelas going on. And this lady said, I am also your devotee, why don't you show some miracles in my house? And so she decided to pray to Swami till he came to her house and showed her a sign. So she's telling this story to Swami. So she said, Swami, I said, I will not go out of my puja room, I will chant Om Bhagwan Sitsatsa Baba Namaha and continue chanting it. And Baba stopped her and said, your husband was worried, the children were worried, but she didn't stop. She started chanting. And so Baba said, what happened? After 2 days, Baba, I had your darshan. And there was a small lesson Swami taught us, and we'll come back to this main lesson but here. And Swami said, see, when you were chanting, why it took 2 days? He asked us, why do you think it took 2 days for her to get Baba's darshan? She could have got it immediately. Did a devotion become more in 2 days? We didn't know what to say. Swami said, when you started chanting Om Bhagavad Satya Sai Baba Namah, you had a big list of desires. Your heart was full of jealousy, ego. Why that house? Why not this house? Your mind was petty and limited. But chanting, you forgot why you were even chanting. You got so immersed in Baba's name that you forgot why you were chanting. And when you chanted purely for the sake of chanting, instantly Baba appeared. And I think that's very crucial for us. I mean, that's a lesson I took home. But the lesson doesn't end there. With Baba, every second, every minute you're learning, it goes so fast, and you have to be really alert. And Baba said, then what happened when you got Baba's darshan? She started feeling shy. She said, no, tell the boys. And she said, Swami, I was terrified. I was scared. I was afraid. Swami said, Dekho, pagal. She is praying for Baba's darshan, and Baba gave her darshan. She was afraid. And he asked her, why fear when I am here? And so I was listening to this, sitting with the boys, and the thing that struck me was, why would she be afraid? And at that point, I thought I was spiritually here, and she was, like in the kindergarten of spirituality. It's like, oh my God, these devotees, when they pray for it and it happens, why would you be afraid of Swami? This was many years into being in Swami's fold. This was just a fleeting thought. Went, I cried, I fasted, and I just left it. Many days later, my chance came to speak in the Purnachandra auditorium, and I was standing behind the stage, waiting for Baba. And you know, the Purnachandra auditorium has huge curtains. And they're so big that when they overlap about 8 or 10 feet. And therefore, you need huge motors to open it. But sometimes what happens is the Sevadals stand, and if Swami decides to go through the middle of these two curtains, there will be two Sevadals. The volunteers will pull the curtains aside so that Swami's hair doesn't get ruffled. And such heavy curtains, somebody has to help Swami. And then Swami will magically appear. The divine darshan that we would get in the Purnachandra auditorium would be magical. And so that is how it would happen behind stage. So, but not Swami, nobody knows whether Swami will go from the middle or Baba will go from one side or the other. So there will be Sevadals all over just to help with the huge stick, part the curtains so he can step out. So I was waiting behind the stage because I know I had to talk, and I already had butterflies in my stomach. Because Baba would put you in front of 30,000-40,000 people and he would say no rostrums. And thank you, Brother Faiz, for this. But Baba would say no rostrums. He said, I don't want people to think that boys are having notes and reading from notes. I want them to see that boys speak from the heart. So there were no notes. It was a good training ground anyway. So I was having my butterflies and I was waiting. Baba came backstage and I touched Baba's feet. Baba said, speak about your experience. I said, yes, Baba. And so he went to the middle of the curtains are like this. He went right to the middle. So the Sevadal got ready to part the curtains. Swami told them, nahi, kato. So they just told me, come with me. So this is all happening very fast. He told me, come, all in actions. Kato, come. So I went, he caught my hand and he parted the curtain and he went. Now he has to enter like this and walk about 10 feet, 8 to 10 feet and come out from the side. So I tried to keep the curtains away. I am following because one hand is already, Swami is catching my hand and he said, come. So I've gone, and so there was a point in that this side of the curtain closed and it's pitch dark and this side is not yet open. Right? At that moment Swami stopped. Are you afraid? He asked. And I immediately said, are you? Yes, Swami. Yes, Swami, I am afraid. And he said, Tu Dunnaputa, why are you afraid when I am here? Why fear when I am here? That moment he opened the curtain and went into the stage. He sat, gave for darshan, and I sat thinking, oh my God, I did it. I was alone with God. He was holding my hand and he asked me, I'm afraid, and I said, I'm afraid. I thought I will never be afraid. I looked down upon that lady and now look at me. I did exactly the same thing. When we think we are ready, we are not. That is why Namasmarana is so powerful. Don't worry about where you are, where you want to go. People tell me, oh, Dr. Sunder, you are there in spirituality, we are just beginners. This is all our imagination. Because spirituality is not a journey to go somewhere or someplace. It is to just realize who you are all the time. It is awakening from a deep sleep. That's all it is. So there is no progress and there's nothing. You're either awake or you're sleeping. And therefore, the little things that Baba taught us was show us how much humility is a hallmark of a devotee. You know why? Because the moment he thinks, I know, he doesn't. The only way he knows is when he loses himself in the thought of God. And God takes over. That's all. Before I come to the last, I have time till 8:30. I told you yesterday, it's dangerous to give me a mic and say, speak about Baba. I just shared a few minutes ago, and Brother Faiz has asked me to share a story, so I'll share it with all humility. It's one of my favorite experiences, very dear to my heart, and where Baba saved me from a near-death experience. But there is so much to learn in this. And before I say this, I want to put it in a context, because every experience has a lesson, and I want you to take home the lesson. And that is most important. I take home the lesson. The experience is kind of vague now, at which year, when exactly, I'm trying to put dates. It really doesn't matter, because the lesson that came out was so powerful that everything else fades into insignificance. Baba respected himself. Baba, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you how. I may not be able to put this in the right words, but Baba respected himself as the avatar. He gave himself that respect. He saw himself as divine and he respected himself as divine. And before I come to the story, little examples of this was he would come and talk to us in the bhajan hall in the morning, and the pujari will get ready for the puja. When the pujari starts doing the puja, Baba said, oh, puja is going on, I'll come later on. That's it. We would think, Baba, he's worshipping you. You don't have to run away. But Baba would give respect to the puja done to him. No, puja is going on, I'll come later. And he'll go, like, no, pujari will get angry, kind of a feel. No, tarvata vastana, I'll talk to you later. And he'll go away. So he was like that. He told his mother how to put oil on his head on his birthday. He taught his father how to do that. He taught people how to put flowers at his feet. He taught us how to press his feet. We would press his feet and he would say, you didn't have food? You're eating like a buffalo? Where is your energy? Press harder. We would press so hard, our hands and forearms will ache. Bas, no food. Waste, waste, waste. And so he taught us how to, everything was a spiritual offering. Everything was a learning with Swami. There was never a vacation with Swami. And the reason I'm saying this is because he was the same, he is the same, and he will be the same, whether there were 5 devotees who believed in him, whether 5,000 devotees who believed in him, whether there were 50,000 people who came to him. He was the same. He knew he was God, he knew he had a mission on earth, and he was determined to follow what he had come to do, period. It did not matter whether there were 5 people in front of him, whether 5,000 or 500,000 or 5 million. It didn't make any difference to Swami. That's why I say we are blessed that we are in his fold, that he has allowed us to come into his fold. Left to him, he doesn't need anything. And the reason I say is because every word he spoke, some of you may have had a direct chance to hear 1 or 2 words that he spoke to you or your group or something, and you may not understand it that time. Let it be. Let it be. One day it will all make sense. And it is in this context that I want to share how Baba's every word is so powerful, that gave an inclination of who he was. His touch was meaningful, his word was meaningful, his look was meaningful. He never wasted it. He never wasted it. There was a time when I would go for doing yoga in the college, in the college terrace, and yoga was my passion, is my passion. I teach yoga online, I've got into yoga, and I've learned everything in Baba's presence and in the divine ashram. And I used to practice yoga every day. So one morning as I was returning back from my yoga session, I found a group of village boys killing a snake. It was crossing the road and they were like, yeah, kutra, kutra, and they were jumping and just killing the snake, poor thing. And as all cowards do, they didn't kill the snake properly. They were hitting it in all different places. So the poor thing was more hurt and riddled and it went into the bushes. Later on in the morning, as I came back to the college, I saw a dead snake and something touched me very deeply. I said, why do we do this? Why are we so violent in our nature? We go into their homes and we build homes, and then the snake didn't do anything. But I decided, next time I see a snake, I'm going to catch it and throw it away. It started with very good intentions, and therefore I started catching snakes, very small snakes. Something, because we lived in a hostel, and the hostel was in the divine surrounding of the hills, and it was open. So there would be a lot of snakes, and Puttaparthi was known to have cobras, a dime a dozen. So when it is hot, it wouldn't be a very uncommon thing to find in the dark corners of a kitchen one little cobra curled up. Poor thing lost its way. He was chasing his dinner or something. He must have come into the kitchen, or in the corner in a college. It wouldn't be uncommon. It wasn't common, but it's not uncommon either. So occasionally, every 2 or 3 weeks or 4 weeks, there would be some snake somewhere. And slowly the word spread out that Sunder Iyer catches snakes. So for boys it became, wow, Sunder Iyer is catching snake. And like everything, good intentions always slowly, the intention is forgotten, the action gains more prominence. How we want to sing bhajans with a good intention. And then we get into how can I sing like him? How can I sing better than him? And so it was all becomes what I do. The intention is gone. So intention of saving a snake was slowly drifting into the background as I was becoming more and more famous in Puttaparthi, in the hostel, and now in the ashram, that he's a snake catcher. He catches snakes with his bare hands. Very Babri. And so I would catch the snake obviously, and I would go up the hill where the Hanuman statue is now there. It wasn't there those days, but so I would go up the hill and I'd leave the snake, drop the snake. But slowly, boys got interested. Sir, can we touch the snake? I wasn't realizing that I was doing a very foolish thing. I was actually not only risking my life, that's being foolish, but also trying to demonstrate in front of young boys and be a potential danger. These are live cobra. These are poisonous snakes. So I even showed boys how you leave a snake like this, take your hand, it is not going to bite you, and how it will go away. So my intentions are all nice, but slowly, unknowingly, it was going into my head, I think. And I think Swami decided one day, it's time for this guy to learn a lesson. So I was sleeping one afternoon. I had in the midst of a very vivid dream. Hopefully I'll remember to come to that dream. But I was woken up. And one boy was there, he said, sir, I was doing my research program. So I was teaching, so boys either call me brother or sir, in that state. So they said, sir, there is a snake in the college. Please come. So by then I realized that college is about quarter kilometer or half a kilometer away from our hostel. And therefore, by the time I go, invariably many times these are false alarms, because by the time they say there's a snake there, by the time you go, the snake is not sitting there waiting, hey, Sunder is going to come and catch me. He's going to get a snack, the moment he gets freedom, he's going to run away. So I told this boy, oh, snake in this afternoon around 3 o'clock, it's not going to happen. He's not going to be there by the time I go. Then this boy said, no sir, it's not like that. Right in front of the auditorium, in the concrete, he's cornered. There's a big snake and everybody surrounded him. The villagers and all are waiting to kill it. So we told them, wait, Sunder sir will take it away, don't kill it. Because people are afraid to kill snakes. And so they would do it only as a last resort, I guess. So I said, okay, then I'll come. And I had just gotten up from sleep. I was not thinking clearly. So normally I wear my shoes, my sneakers, if I get into any of this crazy adventure. But that day there were flip-flops, which we used to call the bathroom slippers, where all your toes are exposed. And so I just slipped into that and I said, okay, let's go fast then. Because I knew I had to come back, have a shower, go for darshan. The time is coming. I said, okay, let's finish this fast and go. So I wore my chappals and I started going to the college. And I went there, I saw the snake. It was there, coiled. And then I looked around, I asked for a stick, somebody gave me a stick, and therefore I just touched it and immediately it raised its hood. It's a beautiful, beautiful cobra. And I took the stick and pressed its head down and and held his mouth. That's how I used to catch it. If you want to learn now, you have Discovery Channel, go watch it. But I caught the snake. And then, by then, somebody had come with a camera, said, Sunder, we'll take some pictures. So they took pictures of me holding the snake. I called one boy and said, let's measure the snake next to him. Poor boy was terrified. I did all these foolish things that afternoon. Because there was no audience this time, there was a big audience. So I was like, yeah, I wasn't thinking consciously all this, but it just gets to you. You don't realize that this ego creeps in and I'm holding a deadly snake. I didn't realize any of this. And so I said, okay, after all the hangama was over and photographs were taken and everything was done, I said, okay guys, I'll just go drop the snake in the hill. So I climbed up, I went past Krishna's statue, up the road, and then went right to the top of the hill, and I was about to fling the snake away. I had two of my colleagues with me, Brother Mayur was with me, and I was about to do that when a bunch of students came running saying, sir, we missed all the fun, we didn't see you catch a snake, we never seen you catch a snake. Come on, show us how to catch a snake. I should have said, common sense, I should have said, go home, please, this is not some fun thing, this is not demonstration thing. Go home, we'll see, next time I see a snake, I'll call you, something like that, and distracted. But that day I was in a mood to demonstrate. So I told the boys, okay, stay at a distance and watch. I said, what do I do? I mean, if I let the snake go, he's going to slither away. So I said, okay, you know what, let me try something new. I'll hold his tail anyway. I won't let him go fully. And so I held his tail and I let go of his mouth and I held it like this. Now this guy was as tall as me, about 5 feet 5 inches. He was so thick that I had to hold his mouth like this. And so I held his tail at the edge of his tail and I let him out like this. So he was desperately trying to go away from me, poor thing. And I looked around for a stick to press his head. I didn't find one. So guess what? I said, yeah, I'll just put my foot on top of that head. I'll press the head and keep it pressed. How bad can it be? Vinashakali, in Sanskrit there's a Vinashakali Viparita Buddhi. When the bad time comes, even your thinking gets twisted. You can't think straight. So it is one of those times. I am grateful for that experience though, because it taught me that Swami is such a magnificent power. And so, here's what's happening. I caught him when he was on my turf, on concrete, on a smooth floor. The snake doesn't know how to escape. Now I am in his turf, I am in his territory, sand. So he can go up and down. It's not concrete, you press it, it doesn't stay pressed. He can go underneath. All this never struck me. And so I put my foot on top of the snake's head, holding his tail. I put my foot and I said, this is how you press the foot. And at that moment, the snake slid from underneath and got hold of my foot. And he gave one nasty, long bite. 1 second bite, I think it must have been 1 second. It felt like a whole century. One nasty bite and he removed his head. And this was after many years of yoga, many years of close encounters with Swami, many years of tapas and knowing Swami exactly, understanding Swami, after a lot of spiritual experiences. Guess what came out of my mouth? It should have been Sai Ram, it should have been Om, it should have been Om Namah Shivaya, it should have been something. All that came out was ouch! Ouch! I just said ouch! And I flung the snake away. The reason why I'm telling you all this is nothing pointed to what's going to happen. Nothing that I did that I can claim credit to. Ouch! I threw the snake away. Boy said, what happened? I said, no, nothing. I think nothing, just everybody disappeared. And of course my brother Mayur and another brother was there. He said, Sunder, what happened? I said, the snake bit me. And so what happens now? I said, no, let's go to the hospital. I'll take a blade, I'll just cut open my foot, something I'll do and let the blood flow out. I was imagining some blue blood will flow first and then the red blood will come and then I'll be okay. Some weird things was going on. I was in a state of denial at that moment because the truth was too much for me at that moment. I said, no, I think I'll just go to the hospital, let's get this going. So I started walking down and I come up to the Krishna statue, just a few feet, probably 150, 100 yards, and then the pain hit me. That's when the pain hit me and suddenly my foot was on fire. The pain was so bad, I realized this is something serious. This is not something that I can just go to the hospital and somehow turn my head away and think nothing happened. So I told these two guys, hey, I think we need to go to the hospital. This is serious. I wasn't afraid, but I knew that this was serious. They said, you have to walk all the way from the Hanuman statue to the hospital, which was behind the primary school. Sundar, we'll call somebody, we have to carry you. You're not supposed to walk. The blood will go to your heart. You're supposed to be. I said, forget it. I don't want to attract any attention. Just now they took pictures. I'm not going to go back. I said, no, let's walk. Let's just go to the hospital. Nothing will happen. I started walking and as fast as I could because I started limping badly. We went to the hospital. As we were going to the hospital, all these thoughts started coming to my head. The first thought that terrorized me was, oh my God, Dr. Alreja will be there. Oh my God, he'll go tonight to see Baba. Oh my God, he's going to tell Baba that I was bit by a snake. And I am in trouble. I knew I had to pack my baggage and go. Because if Baba gets to know, forgive me when I say Baba gets to know, but that is how we become ignoramus when we live in the physical presence of Baba. I said, if Baba gets to know that Sundaraya has been doing such foolish things, he will say, Pampiche, send him out. You don't want such foolish fellows here. Not only, because I put so many young boys in danger. But that's the 52-year-old in me talking. When I was 20-something, I didn't care. Anyway, so as I'm going, I'm thinking, so I told my brothers who were walking with me, I said, hey, what did we tell Dr. Alreja? I said, I can't tell the truth. I'm terrified. But I can't tell lies either. Because it will go to Swami. I don't want that karma on me. I can't survive. Everybody has witnessed what has happened. So I told him, I will do the talking. I'm going to tell Dr. Alreja, I was bit by a snake, yes. But I was bit when I was doing social work. So in my mind, I justified doing social work is doing, I was helping the snake and getting the society rid of something. So it was social work I was doing. It's amazing how we can justify our actions. Somehow the ego will convince you that you are speaking the truth. We talk about, at the drop of a hat, we talk ill of somebody. In the end we will say, but he has a good heart. He is a devotee. Somehow to convince that, I didn't talk ill about him. But the 15 minutes you would have spoken ill about him. In the end you would say, he's a good devotee, but he's Swami's devotee, it's okay. That doesn't cover up. But that is our mind's way of justifying, you are still practicing truth, don't worry. Social work is okay. So I had to tell that. So I walked in, as expected, Dr. Alreja was sitting. He said, what happened? I said, I'm bit by a snake. He said, what? Where? I said, my foot. Where did it happen? In the college. I was trying to be as brief as possible. In the college, he looked at the other two. Was he bit by a snake? They said yes. What were you doing? Social work. Then he saw me, he said, lie down. I lay down on the bed and he checked my blood pressure and he checked something. For me, the pain was too much. I just wanted to get over with this. So he checked my blood pressure and all and he said, oh, okay, take him upstairs. So he realized something was happening. And so this is about 15 minutes already, close to 15 minutes would have passed from the time the snake actually bit me. And so he put me in bed and then he sent somebody to fetch the antidote. And then somebody came, told him something, he rushed down. So I saw some commotion going on. And then I asked my brother what happened, so colleague, so this boy said, Sunder, don't worry, nothing is happening, everything is okay. I said, no, why is Dr. Alija going back and forth and there seems to be some commotion, what happened? Then he said, the antidote is kept in the Godrej Almirah. And the person who has the Almirah has locked the Almirah and gone for darshan. Because it is time for darshan, it's 4 o'clock, 4:15. And who gets bit in the bright afternoon, So he had, because expensive medicines and all were there, so he had locked it and that poor attendant, assistant, whoever he was, took the key and went for darshan. Then it struck me, I said, oh gosh, so no antidote. He said, no, Swami is there, don't worry. I said, no, I'm not worried. Then I mentally calculated. I said, it's about 4:05, 4:10 now, he's gone for darshan. So if somebody goes for darshan, if Baba's already out, they cannot disturb him. So they wait. I figured in my mind it will take at least 1 hour. And that is when it struck me that I'm not probably going to make it. Because the pain was keeping me alive, but I could feel something was happening. And so at that moment I decided, okay, let me make sure I exit through the Sahasrara Chakra, because I was so much into yoga. I was not afraid of it. I said, okay, I want to go through that black tunnel and see light at the end of the tunnel, because I had read of Walter Cowan and all. I was so excited about death. Oh, okay, I want to make sure my Kundalini goes properly. So I lay down. The only thing I told, and Mrs. Prem Behel and Muni Auntie, Abhi's sister, they were there with me. They were angels, honestly. The presence, she was gently caressing my head. She said, Beta, don't worry, just be with Swami. I said, yeah, I am going to be with Swami. And because I realized I'm going to die, I might as well make it grand exit. So I'm a little dramatic, I don't know why, but that's who I am. Maybe all Scorpios are, I don't know. So I lay down. I said, let me start doing my Soham Pranayama, my breathing, and I have a process of meditation and deep relaxation, so I just went through that. But to be very honest, I was trying my best to experience what death is. But I was alive because of the pain. The pain was very real. I didn't, it was easy for me to tell you that I slipped into a zone and I saw something. I didn't see anything, unfortunately. I would have written a New York bestseller if I had seen something like that. I didn't see anything. The only thing that was keeping me alive was the pain. And somebody shook my shoulder. I opened my eyes, which I thought was barely 5 minutes later. Barely 5 minutes later. Somebody woke me up. I opened my eyes and I said, what? He said, antidote has come. I said, what do you mean, 5 minutes? How can that be? Did somebody have a spare key? He said, no. What do you mean 5 minutes? Look at the clock. I saw the clock was 5 past or 10 past 5. Almost an hour had passed. I don't know. Even till this day, I don't know. Because I know I was conscious throughout. I didn't slip into any zone. I was awake because of the pain that kept me alive. And yet, there was a 1 hour that took place. The antidote was given, and the doctor said you have to stay overnight. And then I decided to stay back, and after bhajans, my parents got to hear of it. My father came, they were very upset, and I promised them I would never do it again, and I kept up with my promise. And so, all that happened in the evening, Dr. Alreja came. So I just couldn't figure out, how can that be? I'm still alive. It doesn't make any sense. So Dr. Alreja came in the evening after all this commotion was over later on, and told my father, see, your son, he's a big drama boy, he's acting. I looked at him, what do you mean acting? And so he looked at us and he said, Baba said you are acting. You are a drama boy, you are acting. Why did you tell me it was a snake? So Dr. Alisha was a little annoyed, like, did you take me for a ride with all this commotion that you created? And then finally, Baba was saying, you're acting, you're just, there's no snake or something. He said, Baba said it is only a thorn, it is not a snake. What are you doing? And I just couldn't understand. I was hurt. I said, Swami, how can you say that? I caught a snake and I know I was bit by it. What do you mean I'm acting? I was not acting. I never understood what happened. And then my father spoke to Mr. Chiranjeev Rao, who came and told us this side, told me later this side of the story. When they found that the antidote was not available and the key was not available, Dr. Alreja did what he's supposed to do. He sent word to Swami. He said, he called the ashram immediately, phone, and told Mr. Chiranjeev Rao. He said, please inform Swami Sunder has been bit by a snake. I don't have the antidote. Please let him know that. It's emergency, please let him know. So when Baba was out for darshan, this is all happening. So Mr. Chiranjeev Rao stands under the arch. There's the boys, the gents sit on one side, ladies sit on this side, and in the center, all the ashram authorities stand. They will not interfere during the darshan unless something very important comes. So Chiranjeev Rao steps forward when Baba is giving darshan, and Baba says, what? So he goes to him and says, Baba, in Telugu he says, Sundaraya has been bit by a snake. And immediately Baba, he said, that fellow's a drama boy. He's just doing drama for Baba's attention. It is not a snake, it is a thorn. And almost like, for this silly thing did you disturb me? And he got very, like he just, something he said and walked away. So Mr. Chiranjeev Rao was very shocked. I mean, how dare I disturb Swami? And oh my God, so he came and yelled at Dr. Alreja, why did you tell me it is not a snake, it is a thorn? Swami got angry with me. And so Dr. Alreja came to me and said, how can you tell me it's a snake, it is a thorn? I said, what is the story? Where is all this coming from? And I was, how could Swami say that? I mean, I know, my eye says, I know it's a snake. Boys have seen it, everybody has seen it's a snake. And how can he just, and Baba also like, drama boy, no, he didn't even create vibhuti for me. You know, when we fall sick, we expect our parents to say, Ayyo Papa, don't worry, I'll take care. In God's reality, if they see you sick, then you are sick. They don't see you as sick, they see you as healed. If Baba sees us as human beings, then he has a lot to do. He sees us as divine. He comes, has a leela of his avatar and goes away. They see us as perfect human beings. So they don't see us as sick or as healed. So, all that I didn't understand at that point. So I was thinking Baba at least could have created vibhuti and sent me something, Ayyo Papam, I will come and see him in the hospital or something he would have said. Nothing. He just said, that drama fellow, the hysteria is like, just dismissed me off. I never understood the meaning of what Baba did until 2 years later. Baba takes his own time to answer. God does things in his own time. We have to just trust the process. We have to trust the process. 2 years, I had forgotten all this, and then that is when in the hospital 1 month, my brother and I, we sat and wrote the Bhajagovindam drama, and then Swami came and saw, and one thing led to the other. So this is all a forgotten thing. I have a very big nasty scar on my foot. The wound was localized for whatever reason, and the wound healed by itself, but then there's a very nasty scar, and even to this day the nerves didn't heal properly, so it's a very sensitive spot. Always a very big reminder as to be humble. So 2 years later we were with Swami. He was discussing some play or something like that, and all the boys took Pada Namaskar of Swami and slowly left. And I was the last one. I collected all my files, everything, because I was sitting next to Swami, making notes and all that. So I got up, and as the last person, I touched his feet, and I started backing. Because you don't turn your back to Swami. He's sitting on the chair, because the bhajan started. Swami said, oh, bhajan started. Come on, everybody out of the room, interview room, go for bhajans. So everybody got up, and I also touched Swami's feet. I got up and I started walking back, like this. That's when Baba's eyes fell on my foot. He said, what is that? What is that on your foot? I looked and my heart went cold to you. Swami, please don't ask me any more questions. So I said, Swami, that is from the snake bite. Hey, he looked at me like this. Hey, was it a snake? Now let me pause here for a second. Another lesson of humility is Baba would tell a story from the Mahabharata. I might cross 5 minutes, or is that okay? Baba tells us a story about how Krishna would call Arjuna and look at a bird and say, Arjuna, look at that pigeon. And Arjuna said, Krishna, that's a beautiful pigeon. And then Krishna would say, fool, that's not a pigeon, that's a parrot. And Arjuna would say, yes, Krishna, that's a parrot. It's a beautiful parrot. And Krishna would say, no, I think it's a crow. And Arjuna would say, yes, Krishna, that's a crow. Baba would relate the story beautifully. Then Krishna would turn to Arjuna and say, don't you have eyes of your own? Haven't I given you brains to think? Whatever I say, what are you saying? Yes, yes, yes. Why are you such a yes man? And then Arjuna says that you see truth far more clearly than I can perceive. I trust your perception. I trust your sight more than my own limited senses. And therefore what you say is more true to me. And Baba would say, that was his devotion. That was his state of surrender. That was his faith in Krishna. Years of staying with Baba, all the spiritual sadhana and yoga and practice, I am standing in the presence of this glorious being. And the Sadguru asks me, hey, it wasn't the snake. And I said, no Swami, it was a snake. It was a natural conversation. This is why I say how much we hold on to our truth. We like the idea of surrender. We want to do all that, but when push comes to shove, when it comes to real acting in daily life, we are holding on to what we believe. He said, no Swami, it's a snake. And very beautifully Swami said, for you it might be a snake, but from my mouth it will never come out that it is a snake. From my mouth I will always say it is a thorn, it is a thorn, it is a thorn. Go, he said. And I left. I came and sat at the bhajan hall. I was shivering, as I am now. Because this was divinity. And then it hit me as to how, at that moment, when every minute counted, when Chiranjeev told Swami, if he had said, created Vibhuti and said, go give this to Sunder, that would have been another 15-20 minutes by the time it came. There was no time. At that moment, it was just, no, it is not snake. He's a drama. He made it a drama. He said, he's doing a drama. It's not a snake, it's a thorn. He just cut it with an irritable no. He willed it. Then and there, he willed it. It was painful for my ego because my ego was looking for bombs. Ayo, Papam, Sunder and all that. He willed it because at that point, that was necessary. And 2 years later also, he said, I will still not say it is. Because he knows from his mouth, only truth comes out. Only truth comes out. That is the power of Sai Baba. I have no other explanation as to how can one survive a cobra bite. I have no other explanation. But this makes so much sense to me that there was this power that walked among us, ate like us, slept like us, spoke in a language we could understand, shared the highest truths of the Vedas, the Upanishads, brought back the idea of God being real into our lives. To me, God, the idea of God is very real. Divinity is very, very, very real today as I stand here before you. But I say that in all humility. Because Baba made it so. If all of us understand the power of his words, when you read his discourses, know that you're reading it because at that point you're meant to read it. It is not one email just came and popped into your inbox. Even if it is there, you will just scan it. There will be a message for you. Take home that message, live that message. And every day you will watch yourself being transformed. And more Sai gets into your life. And there will be less and less of you and the ego and your reality and the ups and downs of life. Soon it will all straighten up. We become one with God. I would like to end this with a small song. I sung this as my offering when Baba passed away. And I would like to offer this. It's a beautiful song. It's just God is mercy, God is love, God is mercy, God is love. Allah Yirham, Mawla Yirham. I'd like to offer this. I'm going to sing along because very rarely I can sing without crying. So I'm going to sing along with my voice already recorded. And this is the wonderful offering I want to offer Swami, and I also want to offer the song of Allah on our brother Faiz Mohammed's birthday. I consider it doubly blessed that he chose me to be part of this grand satsang. And I'm very, very grateful that I'm here in your midst.
Thank you once again, dear brothers and sisters. Thank you, Brother Faiz, the Faiz family, for hosting us, for their wonderful hospitality and love. We're just 2 days into Trinidad, and it feels like 2 seconds only. This time is flying so fast, and the energy and the love of Sai devotees is so overwhelming that it fills our hearts, Maya's and mine. We're so grateful to be a part of this satsang. Sai Ram, and thank you.